Hey folks, Griffin here. It's been a minute since my last YouTube video, and that is because Magic Online, the whole situation with playing Magic on your computer is a little different now than it was this fall. So, um, what I've got here is standard Jund on MTG Arena. And this is a deck that I've been working on for a while, and I've talked about it a little bit in my blog. Um, it is pretty straightforward what we're doing here. It's kind of like a Golgari deck, but with a little bit of red in it. But I think the red additions are very good. We've got, to start off with, basically the reason that I was playing this even before Stomping Ground and Blood Crypt came out, but Rekindling Phoenix, fantastic card, fantastic against opposing other green-black decks. It's a really good defensive creature, a really good offensive creature. Fits the theme of this deck well. Is just a really good, just a middle of the road kind of like not super top end, but can turn the corner for you kind of threat. We have lots of creatures that get us land, which is great because we want to try and hit our top end while still being able to add to the board. We've got some cards like Direfleet Daredevil, Find Finality, that are can do lots of different things and have kind of like variable mana costs, and so they can be kind of good early, good late. And then we've got just a smattering of removal, Bedevil, Lava Coil. Direfleet Daredevil kind of counts in this category as well. Ravenous Chupacabra is really great. Rakdos Firewheeler is one that I'm pretty excited about. I'm only playing one, but I like it a lot. Vraska Golgari Queen is basically a removal spell plus. And then we've got Angrath the Flame Chained, which is removal spell plus as well. Very similar to Vraska, except its plus version is much better. Really good threat in its own right. And Siege Gang Commander has just been a really, really good top end threat that can come down and kind of be like the last spell that you play. And but also just another threat similar to Rekindling Phoenix that's just really good against removal if it resolves. And then we got Vivian Reed to wrap it all up. Just a really great card that helps you get card advantage, and then artifacts, enchantments, and creatures with flying are like pretty much your biggest problems with the format, between Hydroid Crassus and Wilderness Reclamation and Experimental Frenzy. So it fills a lot of roles, including just your super late game card advantage, just our version of Teferi. It's just absolutely fantastic. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much the whole thing. We've got one Thrashing Brontodon just because it's 3/4. That, yeah, you just read the stats on it. That's why we play it. A 3/4 that can sacrifice the destroyed artifact or enchantment. Just happens to be pretty good right now. Our basic lands are 2 swamp, 2 mountain, 2 forest. So one of the things I'm running into is if I want to play district guide, or if I want to not play district guide. If I want to play district guide, then I kind of need to have this baseline here of basic lands to go get. If I don't want to play district guide, I kind of get punished because Assassin's Trophy, Field of Ruin, Settle the Wreckage, those cards get a lot better against you if you're not playing any basic lands. So once you kind of start playing a few, it makes a lot of sense to play district guide. The other thing is that in a deck like this, that's 3 colors, District Guide is a little bit more consistent than Jadelight Ranger in being able to not only get you lands, which is important, but also the right land. So District Guide is just really phenomenal in this deck. Our sideboard, we've got, let's check it out, 4 Duress, Don't Leave Home Without 'em, 2 Shivan Fire, 2 Cast Down, 2 Moment of Craving, kind of like a smattering of of various removal spells. Some are good against some things, some are worse, but they're all pretty much... They all come in against the aggressive decks, but Moment of Craving, while it's really good against the aggressive decks, doesn't really hit everything, so kind of, leave it out in some, and same with Shit and Fire. Thrashing Brontodon, 2 more of those in the sideboard, because the Turbo Fog decks mostly, but they're also really, really good against the red decks. 3/4 is just a great size, and it happens to also hit their best card against you, which is Experimental Frenzy. Vraska's Contempt, just a 1-of, because it's good in a lot of spots. 1 extra Vraska Golgari Queen, and then 1 Carnage Tyrant to wrap things up, which is noticeably absent from the main deck, but it's just kind of... I've been I don't know. It's been not my favorite in this deck as of late. I used to play 4 of them before the new set came in, but now people's late game... The late game of these matchups look a lot more like Hydroid Crassus for a whole bunch of cards instead of just like people just bashing their Carnage Tyrants into each other and, casting Find Finality and using their Memorial of Folly to get back the Carnage Tyrant. That's the way these mid-range mirrors used to work, but now it's all about like Hydroid Crassus, and so it doesn't really seem to fit a lot of what you want to be doing to try and fight that. So it's a good card, but I've relegated it to the sideboard for now. So that's where I'm at with this. I'm going to run it through a traditional event, I guess is what it's called on Magic Arena, which is you play until you lose 2 matches, and you win the event, or you can the most you can do is to get 5 wins. So the goal is to go 5-0 or 5-1. So we'll see how we do. All right, I'm coming in here for our first round of our traditional event. We get to be on the play. That's great. This hand looks fine. It's not too exciting, but it's kind of got everything we want. Our mana is fixed pretty well, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and keep it. 2 Lava Coils in your opening hand could be really good, it could be terrible. We will find out, but I don't think it's a mulligan based on that. I think against most things, it's very good. Against Esper Control and against Turbo Fog, they are pretty bad. I love that we get to play with Shock Lands and Buddy Lands again. Buddy Lands, M10 Lands, Check Lands, whatever you want to call them. They are fantastic. We're going to District Guide for a mountain here. The reason is I don't know if I might want to cast 2 copies of Lava Coil next turn. Probably not, but I want to give myself that option. Alternatively, I'm guessing that what we're going to do next turn is play District Guide again. But we'll see what happens. Who knows what we'll draw here. Who knows how big this Jade Light Ranger will be. Okay, so it's pretty big. So go ahead and block. So that Rupon Cragjaw is interesting because it means that we don't have to draw a land in order to be able to land our Vivian next turn. So I think I am just going to go ahead and Lava Coil this. Lava Coil doesn't have a ton of utility in this matchup, but one of the best ones is just a big Jade Light Ranger. So that's a Jade Light Ranger for just 2-1, which is fine with us. Notice that they got a swamp and a forest out of that, and that's a lot of forests. So I'm not certain, but it looks a lot like they don't have the blue splash in their deck right now. So we could play like District Guide plus Lava Coil, but that's not really that inspiring to me. I think I'd like to play Vivian Reed with the understanding that it's probably going to take up their next turn to Vraska's Contempt it.
Beasts are much more balanced.
And hopefully get something good out of the deal, like a Ravenous Chupacabra. Can't argue with that. Carnage Tyrant. Okay then.
I'm not losing everything again.
So they are kind of on a more like...
You can't stop nature.
The old style kind of list here, looks like. So, the problem with CJ Commander is that it can't take down Carnage Tyrant by itself, so we're expecting Vivian to probably bite the dust here. But I think that's probably still our best bet. We could like Chupacabra, a Jade Light Ranger, and then Lava Coil the Elf or something like that. Doesn't seem like that's gonna be that good of a plan here. Our opponent conceded. I'm confused as to why. Well, our opponent conceded the whole match. I don't understand. Okay, well, you know what? We're gonna just go ahead, keep that in the video. I don't know why they did that. Who knows? Magic Arena is a new format and everything, so whatever. Anyway, it was kind of shaping up to be an interesting game, but I don't know. I didn't really like our chances against that Carnage Tyrant. But yeah. Anyway, well, let's go on to the next one, I guess. All right, we're off to an auspicious start to this event, which I have a really hard time not calling them leagues. This looks like a mulligan, which is too bad. Opponent going first. They've kept 7. We have a Seeker Squire. I think I would keep this if this was like an Overgrown Tomb or a Blood Crypt, but we need to hit a land, and it has to be a black land in order to grab our Seeker Squire. And I think we can do better than that. Yeah, okay. Alright. No, we're gonna need land. We're gonna need straight up land for a while, so. Not looking great, obviously, on the mulligan to 5. But luckily, this deck is pretty much all 2-for-1s, so if we ever do get there, then we can overcome the card disadvantage. However, our opponent started on Overgrown Tomb, Drowned Catacomb, so their deck is also pretty much all 2-for-1s. So, no land. I guess we'll just click end turn for a while, I guess. We had 3 opportunities to see. That's an interesting thing to learn about, Frasco Glory Queen. Okay. I wouldn't exactly say we're back in it, but it's good.
Pain is weakness, leaving the
I don't know if they're going to sacrifice a creature here. That'd be interesting. Alright, well. Take action. Let's go ahead and grab a forest. Although the forest doesn't really help us play Bedevil. Alternatively, we could have just played Bedevil that turn. Might have actually been the right play. We'll see what happens here, though.
Everyone is expendable, except me.
Yeah, we're almost certainly going to want to play Bedevil this turn anyway. Otherwise, we die to this thing. So let's go ahead and do that. Is this going to be a... No counter spells. I'm kind of wondering if someday somebody will play some counter spells in this deck. If they don't really do anything on their end step, then I actually kind of like our chances here. I guess this just means that they have a handful of removal and are waiting to use it on something better than just a district guide. Yeah, nothing on end step. They didn't play Hydroid Crassus because they would have just done that, I think. Okay, so Vivian presents a problem for sure. We have the option of... Okay, so Hostage Taker. Wow, okay. So, I think we will... Kind of all of our plays here have some merit. CJ Commander, Chupacabra, or Rekindling Phoenix. Especially against the Hostage Taker. If we Chupacabra, we hit the Wild Growth Walker. We get to attack Vivian that way, which is good for us for sure. That's probably gonna be what we do here, because that makes it so that their Hostage Taker has like really not any good targets.
You'll have to do better than that.
CJ Commander could have been right also.
I've seen things that would break someone like you.
But I think like getting in for 2 points on Vivian there is pretty good. So now they can play Hostage Taker and cast District Guide, which seems pretty bad for us. But in reality, like, no, I guess they're not going to do that plan. Perhaps they are waiting until next turn so that they can Hostage Taker a Chupacabra and cast it in the same turn, which would be very good. To counteract against that, I think I'm going to play Rekindling Phoenix. It's always an interesting situation when you have a Branch Walker or a Seeker Squire, and you're like, if I hit a land, I'll be able to cast the other spell I want to play this turn.
Okay.
So here we run into the problem where they can just cast Chupacabra off of the Hostage Taker, which seems really good. So in order to kind of play around that as much as we can, I'm going to play Siege Gun Commander. So now our opponent can go Hostage Taker, take Chupacabra, cast it. What's good though is that it still leaves us with a lot of 1/1 tokens. Assuming our Siege Gun Commander is getting targeted. They might be doing something different here, though. Finality. Okay, well that makes a lot of sense. That's going to make their Hostage Taker much worse, though. In fact, I think I have a pretty good shot here if I go Branch Walker. Okay, we've got Craig. Don't hate it. I want a Phoenix. So now that they lost those Llanowar elves, yeah, the power of Hostage Taker gets negated quite a bit, especially if we manage to hang on to this Ravenous Chupacabra and aren't forced to cast it before I want to. We've already gotten a Vraska's Contempt out of him. There's another one. We won't block that. Let's see. Go ahead and get at Vivian. Like a phoenix. Expecting this to probably get hostage taken. Seems like the cleanest answer to it, unless they have another contempt. They could also minus Vivian and then use a different removal spell on it. Yeah, that seems to be what they're doing here.
Get that out of here.
Yep, the Vivian read is very good. In this matchup, if you can have Vivian and oh boy, if you can get Vivian down and defend it well, then it becomes really hard to come back. And I think that's gonna be it. Yeah, I think we are done here pretty much because they're going to hostage take the Chupacabra. Suppose we'll play it out just for funsies. Maybe we'll see something else that they have. It's interesting. When they plus their Vivian lead.
The wilds are my shield.
And there's the Crassus. So they can Crassus for quite a bit here. What they're going to do with him. So this is where we would love to top deck Angrath. Angrath would be phenomenal. Instead we got Chupacabra. The problem with this play, of course, is that they are going to hostage take one of the Chupacabras. Need to kill the other one. Or not. I don't know.
Come to me.
You can tell how bad it was to have missed a bunch of land drops here. I don't think I want to use my taps like that. You always got to watch out on this new game that you don't accidentally tap yourself completely out of a color on accident. Oh, I even tapped one extra. Okay.
Would you like to see what's left? I've seen things that would break someone like you.
So we're gonna just decline and concede the game. Yeah, as far as a Mulligan 5 goes in the matchup, that's just all about value. I'm not too unhappy with that. I think if we had hit a land there to begin the game, we would have been in much better shape. What I do in this matchup is I'm actually gonna swap my my layout here. I board in the couple of cast downs, they hit everything. And I board in the Carnage Tyrant, one Brass's Contempt, and one additional Vraska Golgari Queen, because what I found is that it's really important to not get killed by the Wild Growth Walker plan. If you can avoid that, then you're in pretty good shape. So in this matchup, I will take out Thrashing Brontodon and Seeker Squire. Those seem to be kind of the worst cards as far as like late game power. Seeker Squire also doesn't do as much in the early game as Merfolk Branchwalker, because ideally, you know, your 3/2 Merfolk Branchwalker can trade with their Jade Light Ranger. Or your 2/1 Merfolk Branchwalker can trade with their 3/2 Branchwalker or Jade Light Ranger. So The fact that Seeker Squire doesn't trade against anything makes it a little bit worse than Merfolk Branchwalker, and just doesn't have a lot of late game power. So the Lava Coil cast down. Those help you get rid of the Wild Growth Walker package. So does Vraska Golgari Queen. Angrath can steal an attack with a Wild Growth Walker. So that's the important things about this matchup. You gotta watch out for Hybrid Crassus and Wild Growth Walker, and then also just trying to maintain a board presence as much as you can to try and negate the power of Vivian Reed. So this looks really good. This looks kind of good, I guess. But I'm going to keep it. I'm going to start with Forest instead of a Swamp. Because... is there a reason for that? Not really. I guess there might have... like, if I had drawn exactly Blood Crypt and then exactly Dragon Skull Summit or something, then... I don't know. Whatever. Wild-Growth Walker... if they leave this on top, that tells us a lot about their hand. Nothing on top. So we've run into a very funny little problem here of not having drawn any non-basic lands, but having drawn 4 basics and 2 district guides, which means that this second district guide will miss. This is pretty uncommon. I guess I could have played around this by mulliganing the hand, but there were only 2 basic lands left in the deck. Happy to trade a 2/2 for a 3/2. Stomping Ground tap looks pretty good to me, and then I guess we're doing this. There's no way to put a land back into the deck, so whatever. And now next turn, we're going to see what they do here. We could either Angrath or we could Siege Gang. That Stomping Ground is actually kind of a big deal, because now it means we can play Carnage Tyrant. It'll also be interesting to see just kind of what they do here. You know, they kept that Wild Growth Walker, which would indicate that they have more Explorer creatures in their hand. They play a land before doing anything else. Now they're in their combat step. I don't quite know what's happening. Sometimes these decks will bring in Negate or Disdainful Stroke. I think that was a pretty suspicious set of moves there that they did. So we're gonna play. I'm gonna play Siege Gang Commander. I'm kind of sort of expecting this to get hit by Disdainful Stroke, but the thing is that Angrath runs into Disdainful Stroke and Negate. So I don't know which one of those they're more likely to have, but we get to play around one of them at least. And it's also just not very good if their thing was like, well, I'm just gonna hold up my Vraska's Contempt for whatever they play, you know, expecting me to play Vivian Reed here or something. I'm just like, that's not, you know, gonna be a thing. And then, you know, having a bunch of 1/1s to protect your Angrath is a really good deal too. Nothing. Okay. So this is going to make it tough for them to play Vivian Reed if they have it. They could play Hostage Taker. Would honestly be pretty good if they went for that plan. It's not like targeting a Siege Gang Commander with Hostage Taker is a little weird, but it would be pretty good. So what are we going to do here? We've only got one card in our graveyard. I don't really know. I think I might attack with everything. And then see what our opponent does. I guess I could have played a mountain there. Or, I mean, a swamp there. That's okay. Let's see what they do here. This is pretty interesting to me. They're just not doing anything. So, this looks like a great time for Carnage Tyrant. If their plan was to hold up Counterspell mana, then Carnage Tyrant plays around that. If their plan is to use removal, well, they kind of missed their opportunity because they got attacked for a bunch. If their plan is to now cast Finality, then we kind of get to nail them with this Angrath. Sure, so we're actually going to deal them 10 damage here and kill the Wild Growth Walker. Which sounds like a good deal to me.
Your crew for my
So this puts them in a lot of trouble. They go to 1. This can kill them, and this will probably kill them. And we're quite out of Hydroid Crassus range. Okay. They were gonna get back in it, that's how, I guess, but they need this. I think they need this Jade Light to be, like, very good. Also, you know, that being said, we have 2 removal spells right here, so they're not gonna make it through this. We're gonna make them discard first, which is a little bit of a BM, but I don't know. Maybe they'll show something that they didn't want to show us. Okay, so let's play Vraska's Contempt on the Wild Growth Walker. They're kind of suspiciously leaving up Spell Pierce mana. I don't believe that they have. And they gave us a good game. It was pretty good games, considering that we had some kind of awkward mana situation there, but they did too. They must have had, I don't know, it was a little interesting that they just kind of held on to their mana there. Didn't really do anything with it. So sometimes I'll actually even go back to the drawing board here, and when we're on the draw, it becomes very important to have lower mana drops. So what I usually do when I'm on the draw in this matchup is put in a couple more Seeker Squires, just to make sure that we have, you know, smooth sailing, you know. Just to make sure we can curve out a little bit better. The fact that they play Llanowar Elves is very scary. When they're on the play, Llanowar Elves are really good. When they're on the draw, I'm actually like pretty happy that I'm the deck that doesn't have Llanowar Elves. When I'm on the play, I'm pretty happy about that, but when they're on the play, it can be a little tricky. We're going to keep this. This helps us with the Wild Growth Walker problems, or large Jade Light Ranger problems, get us out of the early game. And can't really ask for too much more than that. Overgrown Tomb Tap, love it. I will meet ya at Overgrown Tomb Tap land. Nothing on turn 2. Okay. So, our hand looks great. We have the mana to play Vivian. We have 2 answers to opposing Planeswalkers. We have an answer to this Jade Light Ranger right here. No matter how big it gets. We got a drowned catacomb out of the deal, which is pretty good for them. Just gonna go ahead and lava coil. Want to make sure we hit our mana. I guess there's some argument to be bedeviling there instead, but I think it's important to use your, like, in this matchup where they're gonna have, you know, we're kind of each gonna have planeswalkers. I'm pretty interested in making sure my planeswalker answers get used on planeswalkers. So, there's a chance the right play here is actually just play Swamp, say go, and then wait to see what they do on their turn, and play Vraska's Contempt on a Vivian Reed if they have one, and then play our own Vivian, untap play our own Vivian Reed. And then we still have Bedevil, and then we can Lava Coil whatever they target, or they cast to attack our Vivian Reed with, so. Because Vraska's not really doing a lot at the moment. We have a little bit of time before we need to. I mean, this Bedevil is earmarked for it. But I think this gives us a little bit of extra room here. Because the other thing is that if they have Disdainful Stroke for our Vraska's Contempt, if they say, you know, tick up Vraska, say go, and then they Disdainful Stroke the Vraska's Contempt, that's really not that bad for us either. Okay, so it looks like that's what's going to happen. So Vraska will go to 8. And we'll probably be casting Bedevil on it before before we play any creatures that it could target. Chupacabra. Okay, so even more reason to not play any creatures out. So that's going to resolve. Contempt Vivian. Gonna play Dragon Skull Summit. Play Vivian. Tick up.
You can't stop nature.
And let's get the Phoenix. These are all pretty good, except for the Branchwalker. Not great, but the Phoenix is kind of what we're looking for here. It gives us some good options for next turn. Yeah. Kind of ideal situation is they play something like... basically anything but a Vraska's Contempt. That'd be bad for us. But even like a Hydroid Crassus, if they played something like that this turn, we'd be pretty good shape. Just Bedevil the Golgari Queen, and then Lava Coil the Crassus, and it would be, you know, move on with our lives with a Vivian. Okay. So another Vraska Golgari Queen is interesting. So they decided to keep that on top. The emblem is not necessarily like gaming, but it's real good. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and stay with the plan. Yep, Bedevil here. Make sure I tap that right. Oh, Magic Arena, making sure did it right here. Devil that. Lava Coil that. Stomping Ground, tapped your turn, and so now they're gonna draw Vraska. Probably play it and tick up. But they could play like a Crassus instead, which would also be really good. So we have some pretty good draws that we could find here. Specifically, the card Find would be pretty good as we enter the late game, even though it's not actually that good right now.
Fine. It was probably going to die anyway.
No land drop. Ticks up. I don't hate this, actually. We're going to district guide. We're going to find a land. Let's see. Might as well go get a swamp. Play that swamp. Play a phoenix. No disdainful strokes. No cast downs. All that's pretty good for us. Expecting the play here to be Chupacabra on the Phoenix and then -3 the Vraska on the Phoenix. The egg token. Elemental. Memorial to Folly. This is tough for us. Okay. Looking for a big draw step here. That's pretty good. Pretty good. I'm not unhappy about that one. So, let's attack Vraska. I'm sure we're going to get a block from the Chupacabra. And then play Angrath. And tick up. And we could have just stolen the Chupacabra and then traded it off, basically, with the Vraska. Right, we steal the Chupacabra, we attack Vraska with both it and the District Guide. Vraska dies. I'm not really too concerned about that, about Vraska right now. We can do that with other creatures of theirs. So if they play a creature right now, we can minus the Angrath on it, steal it, use it to kill Vraska, and potentially even kill that creature. Ravenous Chupacabra costs 4. Angrath only actually makes you sacrifice the creature if it has converted mana cost 3 or less. So something like a Jadelight Ranger right here, we might be able to use to go after Vraska. Although Vraska's going to go up to 5 this turn, so not likely. But Angrath is really good against Hydroid Crassus. So that's like our biggest reason that we play it. We've gotten to the point where we're trying to cash in lands with their Vraska, which is one of the good things about Vraska. In the early game, you don't really get too much of an advantage out of her because you don't really want to use lands in that way. It's not like Vivian Reed where it's like, okay, I'm going to play it, tick up, slam it as soon as I can, tick up, and if they have Vraska's Contempt or Bedevil or something, then at least we got the one card out of it, so we got 2 for 1. You're not really going to be using your lands in the early game to draw cards with, so there's Jadelight Ranger, but they kind of messed up their auto tap. Whoops. That's rough. That is really unfortunate. That actually makes me think that they have a counterspell of some kind in their hand. Disdainful Stroke or Negate, because that's, I think, really the only reason why the auto tap would leave all this blue mana available. It's like, why else would you need blue mana? So we just get to keep on Angrathing. There goes that Jadelight Ranger. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, so here we're kind of putting him in the squeeze. It's... Angrath is good against Hydroid Crassus for a couple of reasons. One is that you can steal a Hydroid Crassus and use it to attack them. It's like a really big, Planeswalker, kill your creature, also deal you a ton of damage for it because your Crassus is huge. But also, they're kind of in a little bit of a squeeze here. They're losing a card from their hand every turn. It's tough, now they're trying to even, deplete their lands a little bit so that they can start to make some headway here. It's tough. This is tough to play against, so We'll see what they do here. Pretty concerned about Carnage Tyrant right now. We would not have an answer to it. Okay, so they get 2 cards out of their Hydroid Crassus. So now we have the option, we can minus Angrath and use it to go after Vraska. Or we could just play a Ravenous Chupacabra with the expectation that we can also just do that on the next time they play a Crassus or next time that they play whatever creature. It's tough because they could have Vraska's Contempt. But this Chupacabra really isn't getting much bigger than targeting a 5/5 flyer, so... And I would like to have something on the board right now. It's not completely unrealistic that we get to Ultimate Angrath. It's not, you know, what do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards? For some reason, like, okay, 10 right there. Yeah. Sometimes you can see that number, sometimes you can't. Alright, so Vraska's Contempt there is obviously real good. Angrath did a lot of work for us. There's another card that Angrath is really good against, by the way. We have so much mana that I'm not going to just cast this cast down right now. I'm going to wait. Because we could draw, say, Vraska Golgari's Queen. Vraska Golgari Queen. Then I will use this, minus on Old Midnight Reaper. They get to draw a card, but you have to get rid of that card. No bueno. And let's get Vraska out of ultimate range. Okay. So we're gonna need to top deck here. I think their late game is a little better than ours with Hydroid Crassus. Find Finality, Carnage Tyrant. Those are the things that we're looking for here.
Alive for alive.
Phoenix would be great. Find on Crassus and Midnight Reaper. Sure. See which one they play here. They're going to play the Reaper. Okay. I guess, again, we're going to not cast the cast down. We don't know what we're going to draw. That's a great draw. It's a little greedy to use it on the Midnight Reaper instead of on the Vraska, because it hits a creature or a Planeswalker. So let's do this. Let's tick this up. And now we get to start drawing cards because we are the ones with too many lands. Seeker Squire is not too bad. So let's play the Freewheeler. Expecting a Disdainful Stroke at some point. They usually play one on their sideboard, and I think they bring it in here. But not yet, apparently. Midnight Reaper is a card that if I was really, really concerned about the mirror match, that's probably something I would play. So here comes a cast down on the Chupacabra, which is what I was afraid of with that Midnight Reaper play. So they can cash in their Golgari Queen now. Just that it's kind of not that good. I almost think it'd be better to just keep Vraska around, use it to minus on creatures, but who knows what they're gonna do here. Maybe they can play like 3 creatures and of evasion ability or something here. I don't know. But we've got the Hydrate Crassus checked via Golgari Queen. And we've got another creature that they could have. Yeah, we're going over the emblem.
Your end is nearer than you think.
Now they're thinking about Vraska's contempting our Vraska Golgari Queen. Hostage taker. So that's going to resolve, and then trigger on the stack, we cast Down. I don't want them to take the Seeker Squire. This way, they never get to... It gets hit with that animation, but they never actually have a chance to have priority and cast the Seeker Squire, so... Because when they have the Vraska emblem, pretty much anything is just, you know, anything good. Let's go ahead and attack. Play this district guide. Let's go get a mountain. Tick up
Alive for
on this mountain. Ooh. So, that's pretty cool. I think I might have kind of messed this turn up. I'm looking at my own graveyard here because I think I want to cast Find. And we can use their copy of Find Finality to go get a Phoenix and a Chupacabra. But we could also go for like a 3-drop of some kind, but I don't think that's really what we need to do here. Although it would present lethal. But they're playing Hydrate Crassus anyway next turn, so that's not going to be a thing. I'm going to cast Find. I'm going to return Chupacabra and Phoenix. Like, we could have gotten that district guide. Doesn't really seem like it's the right play. So now... So we're the only one with a board right now, but it's a pretty tenuous situation because... Tenuous? Is that the word? I don't know. It's a pretty tense situation because they are the ones with Hydrate Crassus in their deck. And that makes up for a lot of board position that we could have. That being said, also Finality would be pretty good for them right here. Okay, they're doing nothing, which is interesting to me. This makes me want to... Nah, I'll just attack and say, you know, whatever. Kind of expecting a Vraska's Contempt here on something. So let's add a mana and tick up.
being ruthless has its
Here's a Phoenix. Sting for stroke. So I am interested in what they are doing. We could lose to Frilled Mystic here. That is certainly a thing that could happen. I don't think many people play that card. Okay. Okay, well that's fine. And here comes Crassus gaining 3 life, and then we Chupacabra it and win. They could also have finality. So now we're in some trouble. Now we're not in as much trouble anymore. Okay, so let's go for the Fire Wheeler and the Phoenix, I believe. Let's look at their graveyard. They've got Vraska's Contempt. They have another copy of Find. So I'm gonna get the Phoenix. I'm gonna get the Fire Whirler, I think. Nah, let's get the Daredevil. Go Phoenix. Cemetery. Directly Daredevil. Cast Find again. The reason is that the 2 damage off of the Fire Wheeler would be good later too. So there's that. Now we ship the turn. So even if they're like gaining more life, Finality doesn't do it here. Vraska's Contempt does help them. Puts them to 5. Okay, this is good. This is good from them. Now we'll see what they do with this Jade Light. This has turned into an interesting match here. What they do with this Jade Light will be interesting. If they bin it and hit a land... Okay, they have a cast down on top. So this means that Jade Light Ranger is out of Fire Wheeler range. And that means they're going to go to 9. Which is still just 2 attacks with a Phoenix. Looks like we get to Chupacabra the Wild Growth Walker here, so that's a pretty good deal for us. I'll take it. Take it. Yep. So let's Chup Wild Growth Walker. Don't want them gaining any more life. They put cast down in their graveyard, which is a little interesting to me. No, no, no. You stay here. Although, Fire Wheeler pre-combat would have been an interesting plan, but I mean, we're playing Carnage Tyrant, so whatever. So we hit some pretty good top decks here. I think we're going to beat... Let's see, they're going to draw 3 cards. They're at 8. Played a land already. So what we gotta do is Fire Wheeler the Crassus, and then I think that that's game because of trample damage, because they need to block Carnage Tyrant with the Crassus. Yeah. No. They had to block this. Okay, yeah, so they're dead. Good game indeed. Okay. Well, that was a lot more interesting than the first round. But we were able to... Oh, we got some packs and stuff. We were able to beat that matchup, which is tough. It's what you want to do. The Sultai deck is everywhere. It seems to be just the the natural progression of the Golgari deck. It's the industry standard at this point, and so if we can have a good matchup there, then I like our shot. However, I feel like we got pretty lucky in the late stages of that game, but, what can you do? Alright, let's go to the next one. Okay, so we are 2-0 right now. would like to play first. A couple of rootbound crags. I think this is a keep. This is a little sketchy. But I think it's a keep. Most of our lands enter the battlefield on tap at this point. We're on the play. We don't know what our opponent is on. Ground Catacomb Go could be a number of things, actually. We could be playing against Sultai again. We're going to bin Chupacabra, because we have no black mana. Pretty easy decision there. Okay, so this looks like... Okay, so this is the Esper deck. So... Seems like a good time to get an attack in. Play another Branch Walker. Problem is that, yeah, we're gonna keep that on top. I would like to use my next turn killing this hero of Precinct 1, if possible. Or using it to destroy a Thief of Sanity. And so, we're just gonna go for this. I don't think they run any counter spells. This leaves us open to Deputy of Detention. We've got a pretty good answer to that in Angrath, if we are able to hit a land here. And we get in for a bunch of damage, which isn't irrelevant. Okay, so there's a Thought Erasure. Auto tap. Not doing our opponent any favors here, I think, but I don't know exactly what they've got going on. So that's a great draw, obviously. Putting them to 5, playing this thing, saying go. Okay. A little bit awkward there with the mana, but it all worked out when we drew that Overgrown Tomb. And this matchup, we want to take out Direfleet Daredevil. I think Find Finality is good enough. I usually cut Branch Walkers, I think. I don't remember. No, let's just cut the Seeker Squire. Kind of playing for the worst case scenario. They don't play a lot of enchantments, so we'll take out the Thrashing Brontodon. Yep, and Vraska Golgari Queen is good. Vraska's Contempt is good. Cast Down is good. Don't really love Shivan Fire. I don't love Duress. Siege and Commander is pretty good. For the late game. Let's bring the Seeker Squires back in. Kind of just trim those, you know, the Seeker Squires and Branch Walkers, just so I don't have anything else going on that I want to cut. But here I think, you know, all of our 5-drops are going to be good. Siege and Commander is going to be pretty solid. They don't really have any board wipe cards. Vivian and Angrath are great. The Firewheeler is good. I think, yeah, we're just going to leave in as many 2-for-1s as we can, and then got some removal spells to protect ourselves from a Thief of Sanity. I don't know if Shivan Fire is good enough. It hits Thief and it hits Hero. It's probably good enough. Maybe if we're on the draw, we should do something like that. Just to help ourselves a little bit against like a Thought Erasure plus Thief of Sanity draw. This hand is pretty good. We're kind of in the same squeeze again where we have all lands that are going to enter the battlefield tapped. Play Woodland Cemetery, of course, so we can play Seeker Squire if we draw an untapped land. This will be pretty telling. If they take the Lava Coil, then I think they have Thief of Sanity. If they don't, then we're in alright shape here. Blood Crypt was fantastic. Let's go with... Go with Branch Walker. The problem is that they could have Dovin Bond right now. That makes Branchwalker quite a bit worse. Oh, they have a thief. And we're just going to lava coil it. It's a little dicey because we'd obviously rather leave the lava coil for a Seraph of the Scales, but we can't afford to get hit by that thing, so there is Dylan. And like I said, this is a little bit of a problem because the 1/1 flyer can block pretty well here. Not really getting a lot of cooperation from our deck. I think we attack here, as much as it sucks. Leaving this 1/1 is just going to block us whenever they feel like it, so let's just do that. I'm going to play District Guide, and then I'll find a swamp, I suppose. I'm going to play the Stomping Ground. So we've got our mana lined up pretty well. Now we just need some stuff to do with it.
Good assault.
Okay, now we really need some stuff to do with our mana. That's not it. Alright, so Seeker Squire is a little awkward against Thief of Sanity when you like just know you're getting hit. So yeah, I would love to have that card, but I can't. Because it would just kill one of my own creatures. So kind of got to bin everything, and then, I don't know, maybe they'll just hit 3 lands in a row. Kind of wish we'd gotten hit by that Thief of Sanity earlier to clear these lands off the top of our deck, but not like you can do anything about that. We actually only play 23 lands, which is a pretty low land count for a deck like this. Well, to put Vraska Golgari Queen away, then that card must be good. It's Information Campaign. Let's get rid of this swamp. Alright, well, we have to kill Dovin. Don't exactly know how we're beating this Thief of Sanity.
I'm not often wrong.
DGN Commander would be real good. Angrath would be real good. Ah, they took our Rakdos Firewheeler. An excellent choice, my friend. Excellent choice. Alright. Look who showed up. I think that they don't know about these 2 lands. So we'll do this. Get rid of this thief, finally. I mean, I think it is way too late. We'll see. Hopefully they cast a bunch of Thought Erasures. That'd be really good for us. Yep. That's pretty solid. Their deck looks really good when they're playing our cards. Ooh. Alright. Card advantage right there. That's what that is. Okay, so let's hit something good. See, we play Fine Finality, so I would love to make this trade. Can't argue with that one. Let's play Dragon Skull Summit and tap our mana differently. Let's go green. Green, I want to leave up one of each color combination here. Doesn't matter too much, but yeah, that's kind of the correct way to do this.
Let balance comes.
Okay, Branchwalker is good enough. Sure. I'm not going to attack. I'm trying to protect Vivian now. Watergrave untapped is a little disconcerting. Don't exactly know what that means. Probably a hostage taker on our Branchwalker, if I had to guess. Yep, and that's good. That's really good. Oh, they're going a little greedy. Making a little bit of a greedy play here. Because if we hit a removal spell, I mean, I guess they know that we're not... don't have one on top there. Okay, so here's a Branch Walker. And here's a Phoenix. And play a land. Counter spell? Really? Okay, well that's pretty good. Okay. So, this is gonna be a tough one, but maybe Vivian can get there for us.
I've seen squirrels hit harder. I've seen things that would break someone like you.
Phoenix. Okay. Rekindling Phoenix plus Siege Gang Commander. I don't think there's any way we can tap this in a way that makes it so that we will have the ability to use Siege Gang Commander. So we'll just cast it. Yeah, this game turned around in a hurry for us after we had some pretty miserable mana flood. Mortify on the Phoenix, and then another removal spell, I suppose, is going to be what we do here. Deputy on the egg. So that's a smart play. It saves it from being able to be hit by any, like the Deputy itself being hit by removal. What do we want to do here? I think we're going to do something like this. It's going to knock out 2 of our goblins.
Strike me, and you strike
We'll get
nature.
to save Vivian.
Balance comes.
So let's Branch Walker. Problem is they have that disinformation campaign, so I'd really like to play Branch Walker and hit a land. That would be ideal. The problem with what's going on here is that, yeah, the disinformation campaign is going to be pretty good. Kind of no matter how you slice it. There's also like a pretty good likelihood that they have 2 of them that they'll cast next turn. Or like Disinformation Campaign plus Thought Eraser, so I don't really feel like it's worth our time to like keep a land in our hand to sandbag to discard to it. Plus, having mana up with Siege Gang Commander in play is a good thing, so I think we're just done here. Fully expecting to lose this Vivian here. Yeah. You know, and if they have something that's like really good, then they just won't use their mana on Disinformation Campaign, so... Ooh, that's pretty good. So, I suppose what I want to do is sacrifice this goblin at this Chupacabra, and then we'll bring back the Siege Gang Commander and discard it. I'd rather do that than discard the Vivian Reed. Vraska's Contempt is pretty solid.
Come to me.
District Guide is not that great, but whatever. Okay, and now we're in a situation where, you know, the Contempt is, you know, targeting Deputy Detention isn't the best thing in the world, but whatever. That means, you know, something. And we get to basically counterspell their Thought Erasure this way. There's an argument for Vivian Reed minusing on Disinformation Campaign. I guess I didn't even think of that last turn. Did not even think about that. That would have been an interesting line. Let's attack with everything. Play this. Counterspell? Okay. Alright. Yep, probably should have. Probably should have. I don't know. I didn't even think to go minus on the campaign and then play the new one. Not a lot of point in leaving cards in your hand against Disinformation Campaign. Especially because if they have something that surveils for them... Oh my god, that's so good. That is so amazing. We're going to get back Phoenix and Siege Gang. I think we can cast them both. Okay, wow, what a top deck. Yeah, I think I messed up with that Vivian Reed play. Sometimes I just forget that you can just minus on something, you know. Usually, it's a little deceiving because usually I'll try and just ignore Disinformation Campaign. Like, if they are spending their mana on returning it and playing it and then returning it and playing it and, you know, doing the whole thing, then it's usually not even that good for them. So I'll usually just let them have it, but in that situation, I probably should have just minused on the Disinformation Campaign and played that second Vivian. Yeah, okay, so we're 3-0. Got to win 2 of the next 3, I guess, or just 2 in a row and be done with it. That'd be nice too. All right. Whenever your opponent has a Teferi avatar, makes me a little nervous. This is gonna be a mulligan. This looks okay. Not the greatest. Opponent goes to 5. Can't keep that. Over to untap Stitcher Supplier. Oh, buddy. Okay. Journey to a turn. Alright. So there's some shenanigans afoot. Guildgate. Well, not the greatest of showings this game. We're just gonna get beat down by these quirky little people. Oh, look at that. Okay, District Guide. Time for a swamp, I'm gonna say. I think it's time to maybe fire wheel some people. Maybe just play some Phoenixes and see how that goes. I would try to avoid to block Stitcher Supplier as long as I can, although they don't have any Memorial to Folly yet. Let's see what they play here before I make any decisions. Demon of Catastrophes. What in the world are you? Flying Trample. 6/6. Sacrifice a creature to cast it. They got some big stuff going on in their graveyard. And they also are just playing Vraska's Contempt and Vraska Pride Queen kind of for value, must be. Got Trample. So it looks like a really good Bedevil target, so let's play this. I have to play this untapped, don't I? I thought I had double black and could cast Bedevil, but I can't. That's a little bit of a mistake. But I don't think I want to play Phoenix this turn. I think the way that we're winning this game is probably via by a siege gang commander and hope they don't have finality. Here's a spot where Vraska's Contempt would probably be a lot better, in case they go finality. Ah, okay. So they got a lot of different things going on with their deck. They got like a sacrifice, kind of Stitcher Supplier, Graveyard Engine thing going, along with Vraska Relic Seeker for some reason.
My crew is the finest in the seas.
I'd like to make sure my life total is greater than 1. Wow, we're going to destroy this game. Yeah, not liking our spot here. Chupacabra, a menace token? No, that doesn't seem great. Seems like I want to attack the Vraska. That doesn't really work either. Putting ourselves to 1 isn't going to be very good. I guess we just have to Firewheeler and target Vraska, which is just not a winning position for us. Let's discard a Phoenix, I guess. I don't know.
Show no mercy.
If we'd had the Chupacabra for when they had the big demon, then we'd be in really good shape here. I mean, not really good shape, but that's a weird play, because your creatures are better than mine. Your worst card is better than my worst card, so... yeah. Alright, so let's see. We can Lava Coil. I think I want to keep Lava Coil in my hand in case they get back Phoenix. So let's play, or I could just find Finality the Phoenix right now. We could target. I don't know. This is a rough spot. I don't think we got any real chance here. Let's attack Vraska. I guess our biggest out will be to just finality after we figure out what they do. But we're actually not dead to just playing Siege Gang. They ultimate Vraska. I don't think we're quite dead to this. So we have... maybe we can win if we get them in a position where they want to put us to 1. Okay. Well, if we don't die right now... we are dead right now. Okay. So... really interesting. Interesting stuff. Let's bring in the Golgari Queen. Bring in Vraska's Contempt. I think that... well, Brontodon's probably okay because of Eldest Reborn. It's just kind of a Golgari stuff deck. Angrath seems like it'll be good against them. Firewheeler seems good. What seems particularly bad? I don't know. Finality? Find Finality seems kind of bad. Seems like they can recover from a Wrath pretty well, but I don't know. It's also just kind of a value matchup. Dire Fleet, Daredevil. We actually didn't see Find Finality out of their deck. I could see this being, like, just not worth playing. Cast Down's probably pretty good. Let's cut a couple of... yeah, really not sure here. Let's try and do this. think Vivian will be fine. I think the Siege Gang was... Maybe the Siege Gang comes out. I don't know. This is why you play decks that are weird that nobody's played against before, because you just don't know what to do against them. Gonna be on the play. Got a pretty good one, but we need a land. So a land... The good thing is that, like, in spots like this, a land would be good, and so wouldn't a Merfolk Branchwalker. Right there. So, giving to the bin. So hopefully the next one's a land. Merfolk Branchwalker. You got it. Okay, we hit there. That's great for us. We've got kind of our pick at what kind of land we want here. I'm going to go with just a swamp. Don't really feel like attacking right now. Let's see what they do here with their Vraska. No, they're going to put Glow Spore Shot instead. Okay. Journey to Eternity is an interesting one. Even more Glowspore Shamans. Okay. So they didn't put anything on top. So it's a little telling that either they're like, I got enough lands already between my Alara Elf and all this stuff, or that they have a bunch of lands in hand. So I think I want to kill Chupacabra in case it's that first scenario. There, Chupacabra. Use Chupacabra, sorry, to kill Lana Elves. Might have actually been right to attack there with the Branchwalker. I'm expecting it to get minused. You know, the Vraska is minusing on it anyway right now, so... No, they're going to plus. Okay. Interesting. I'm thinking that we want to attack Vraska. So our mana is a little bit stuck here. Okay. This is interesting. I think I'm still just going to go for the Phoenix, though. So let's see. They could have the big guy again. The big demon. Journey. Okay, okay, okay. Guess we're not blocking. Luckily we got Thrashing Prontodon to kill that thing. So, but maybe they'll minus their own Vraska. Nope. Oh, they get to plus the Vraska. Duh, that's the whole point. Okay. So they got lots of stuff in here, but none of it's actually that good. Well, they just put more stuff in there, including... What did they just put in? No, just more Glowspore Shamans. That's the whole deck, I guess. So. Okay, so now I'm going to Vraska and then minus on the Glowspore Shaman. And we get to kill the Glory Queen here.
Creatures. They vanish all the time. Don't be surprised.
And we'll play Stomping Ground tapped. So that's a little rough. Lotleth Giant, okay. So we take 7. That's crazy. So now I guess it's going to be our goal to make sure that thing doesn't go to the graveyard anymore. How are we going to do that? I think an attack like this. This deck is a problem. I don't know. I've never seen our opponent's deck before, but it is very cool and very problematic. Let's play... I don't love the idea of taking 2 for this Brontodon. Let's play Branch Blocker here. Okay, and then we can play a Brontodon. We don't get to hold up Bedevil, but we do get to hold up, you know, an answer to some stuff. I went for the aggressive line of sacrificing my own Rekindling Phoenix. Ooh, wow. Okay. Okay. They have a lot of creatures in their graveyard. So let's see. I want to play, ideally, Seeker Squire and Vivian Reed in the same turn here. Okay, so we are attacking them for 7, which isn't enough to kill them in 2 turns. So I want to Seeker Squire and hopefully hit a land that enters the battlefield untapped. Didn't. Lawless Troll hit us for 7. I'm going to count this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be 8. So I think we're in okay shape here. We go Vivian Reed. Shoot this demon.
And sometimes restoration means retribution.
Plus...
An unfortunate casualty.
Decline, I guess. So now we've got exactly 8 damage on board, and we can bedevil them using Journey on the Lotleth Troll. Just so long as they don't have, like... What's that little thing called? The, Stitcher Supplier here would be the perfect draw for them. Ritual of Soot. Man, that's a good draw too. Wow. Okay. So Lava Coil is actually pretty interesting. If we can pair Lava Coil plus Bedevil and actually kind of do good here. Let's take a Phoenix. I'm gonna do this trick again, I guess.
Sacrifices.
Okay, so this puts them to 6, so we still have lethal on board for next turn. And we gain a life from that. I always forget that this gains you 1 life. That's kind of a big deal right now. So they're going to go for the Lotleth Troll. We take 8. Don't think there's anything that they can do about this. With 1 mana, Praxis Contempt is perfect here. Okay. That one was sketchy. Ritual of Soot. Blah. Nothing I really am interested in here. I don't think I want Carnage Tyrant in this matchup. They have like a lot of blockers for it. I'm just gonna go with this again. Gotta watch out for that Journey to Eternity though. Yeah. This is gonna be fine. Journey to Eternity and Angrath is not as much of a combo as I had originally hoped. Okay, no turn 1 play is good for us. Ginkgo Spore Shaman. It didn't want to land. Let's play a Branch Walker. I don't think I want that. I think we want lands instead. Kind of a tough squeeze here. I don't want to load up their graveyard, but I also don't want to take much damage. Is District Guide a better play than Branch Walker? I think the answer is yes. I'm going to use it to get a mountain. Rising Lurker. Okay. Don't really feel like I want to be double that or anything. I think that I just want to play. So it's just a 4/4. That's all that is. Nothing major. 4 mana 4/4, notably for Angrath purposes. I think we just want to play a Phoenix and say go. Or elves. If they have removal, then they have to 2-for-1 themselves, I guess. I don't know. Not my favorite. Sure. Here's a good time to freewheeler, I think. We get to put some pressure on the board, get a creature off the table for Demon of Catastrophes purposes, or whatever it's called. I think that's what it's called. Brask Relic Seeker, which would be really good. I think what I'm actually going to do is Angrath, steal the Pirate. This seems better to me than Bedevil. Gets rid of their Planeswalker and their Pirate token.
You're just fuel for your crew for my freedom. A fair price.
Plus we get a Planeswalker on the table. Let's play Blood Crypt Blood Crypt tapped here. Use our mana effectively. Zoning the 1,000 die. Okay. That works.
No fire.
Angrath goes up to 2. We have to bedevil this now before they get a chance to untap with it. Gonna bin that. Yep, just bedevil Izoni right now. And play Hidden Cemetery. Protect Angrath, I think. I could be wrong about whether or not we're supposed to attack there. If we're just drawing land, that's not good for us. I think that their late game is probably better than ours. I think I can go ahead and attack now, though. Sure. This I'm pretty thrilled with. Oof, okay. Well, that's fine. That's fair. We are pretty far ahead as far as what we've got on board. That's not a bad one. Okay. So that's good. Makes their demon a lot worse. That was a pretty... I don't know if I like that play from them, to be honest with you. Now here's an interesting thing. Do they have Memorial to Folly in their graveyard? No. We have enough land. I'm gonna say go. See what we hit here. Just a land. I think it's right to bedevil this and get in for damage. It's gonna force them to draw something and draw something good. They have good draws, though. That's for sure. Vraska's Contempt. Very good one. I am not going to play Ravenous Chupacabra. Stitcher's Supplier. Interesting. I don't think there's anything in the graveyard that's just like goes to the graveyard and has an ability unless they draw something else. So I think it's right to just kill the Stitcher Supplier and hope that they whiff again next turn. I think it looks like their next draw was going to be Journey to Eternity. So just keeping their board clear of creatures is important. Okay, we got there. Little mediocre beats from District Guide, got it. But, you know, I mean, that's kind of why we put District Guide in the deck, is because, yeah, it's just a 2/2, but you know what? It's like, it's something, and it fixes our mana for us, and that went pretty well, considering I had no idea what in the world I was doing. So, anyway, 4-0, let's see if we can get this last one and get our full prize and make it a quick league event. Alright, we're back. This is going to be round 5. Hoping to hit one of the next 2, of course. I'll play first. I don't hate it. I think the play is going to be Stomping Ground on turn 1. And then what they play on turn 1 is going to dictate whether we play this Dire Fleet Daredevil just naked or not. And I think the answer is we definitely do. Not only is Dire Fleet Daredevil just like a really good blocker, but they... I don't know if this is going to be a mono-white deck or a white-red deck or a white-blue deck, but any case, they play basically no instants and sorceries. So, just 2/1 First Striker. That's the baseline. I wonder if they're going to try and make a trade here. I'm going to trade the Daredevil for this 1 token. It's because they can make it indestructible, and unlike Regeneration, which I'm used to from playing back in the day, that would remove this from combat if it got dealt lethal damage. Instead, it just is indestructible, takes the damage, and still deals damage to the Dire Fleet Daredevil, even though it's got first strike. So I don't think I want to trade with Dauntless Bodyguard here. We're going to say no blocks. I think a 2/1 First Striker is still pretty good further on down the road. So here's District Guide. And note that we have like perfect mana in play and in our hand, so it doesn't really matter at all. I'm just going to go get a mountain because we have Siege Gang Commander in our deck, and so more red sources are welcome. Just kind of the plan is to not attack here and really disincentivize them from using, like, trying to attack and ramp up with their Legion's Landing. Like, an attack here would be a little crazy for them to do. They would have to lose 2 creatures in order to do it. Hallowed Fountain definitely makes me think that they have... Ooh, this could be a couple of different things. They have Deputy of Detention. Okay. On the Daredevil. So now they can attack. And they only lose a single vampire. I'm going to block this one, actually. That's the one that this guy was naming over here. So that worked out pretty well. You would think that the best play here is actually to Chupacabra, the Deputy, but instead I'm going to hit this Dauntless Bodyguard with the Rakdos Freewheeler because I really want to Chupacabra a Benalish Marshal, if that would ever come up. So let's go and just make sure we got red, red, we got black, black. So Firewheeler is fine. And we're gonna hit the Dauntless Bodyguard. Firewheeler's just been just off the hook. I really like it. I think I might go up to 2. It's a tough call because like the Chupacabras are... I don't know if Chupacabra is better, but it probably is. And Firewheeler is just kind of a very aggressive, a little bit less, I don't know. Firewheeler's better if they don't have creatures. Let's say that. Chupacabra is a better removal spell. Firewheeler is definitely just a better aggressive creature. What are we doing here? I kind of want to just attack with everything. And then see what our opponent does. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is Chupacabra on the Deputy. Although they probably named Deputy with this. Yeah, they did. Okay. And that's fine. I have to do that one way or another. Danto. Tithe. Okay. Some interesting ones over here. So it costs me extra mana to cast stuff on their turn. We'll go ahead and take this opportunity to kill a vampire token. I'm fine with that. Feel like we needed to hit something better there. Luckily we have plenty of mana to get around this Tithe Taker. But I guess there's really not a lot of reason to not play into negate, or to play into a negate. So let's just go ahead and bedevil this Deputy right now. Get our Daredevil back. Of course, no instants or sorceries in the graveyard. Alright, alright, alright. Well, that was a great draw. If they don't have negate. We can play around Spell Pierce, though, by playing a land first. Love it.
Ever so fine.
Oh, shit. I did the wrong one, but that's okay. That's fine. I wanted to take the Tithe Taker, but this is actually fine, too. Unless they rip Conclave Tribunal, don't do it. Kind of clicked the wrong one there. Kind of got a little excited. Ah, Conclave Tribunal. Brutal. Okay. So they're still in kind of rough shape over there. They keep doing this thing, too, where they use their Adanto, like, immediately. But I think we just attack with everything here. They don't have a lot of the way of good blocks. They have to block. They might make some kind of mistake with their blocks here. Alright, well, triple blocking this Freewheeler. Firewheeler, I mean. Pretty good. Put them to 2. Play over one tomb tapped. So any way to get rid of that Tribunal would be a welcome draw step here for us. We get a 3 here. I think we just keep attacking. First strike on this card is causing them some problems on the Daredevil. There's Adanto. So this thing is just a flyer. It doesn't have first strike. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. How about we just go ahead and cast this on our fire wheeler. That should be game if it resolves. Cool. Very cool. Alright, so what I'd like to do in this matchup is board in basically the whole deck. We're going to, let's see. Golgari Queen looks great. Brontodon's good. Cast Down's good. Moment of Craving's good. Shivan Fire's good. Contempt is good. Everything's good except Duress and Carnage Tyrant. Okay. What comes out? I think Angrath is good but expensive. Pretty slow. Vivian Reed is the same way. Siege Gang Commander is good, but a little expensive. Outside of that, it's pretty tough to figure out what you don't want to play because the whole deck is pretty good at beating this kind of thing. The only thing that's really not is kind of like the Branchwalkers, Seeker Squires, and District guys. I think that I want to cut Dire Fleet Daredevil, of course. That's got to come out because they basically have nothing. And I think we're at the point where I want to cut Branchwalker. And let's cut a... Vraska's Contempt is a little slow. I think I'm fine cutting that. Alright, let's give this a shot. The reason we cut Branchwalker instead of Seeker Squire is because Seeker Squire as a 1-2 is a better blocker against, like, vampire tokens. So here we have a hand with no black mana and a lot of black mana symbols in it. So I think this is a mulligan. This hand looks fantastic, though. Opponent also mulliganed. Angrath, you're going to the bottom, buddy. Sorry. I love you, pal. Haunted Witness, pretty good against our Shivan Fire, so that means we don't even have to play it untapped. So if we're doing that, let's just play the Stomping Ground that we drew instead. Seems better. Next turn we can Shivan Fire or something. Hopefully they don't play Adanto Vanguard. They got nothing. Well, nothing is going to play against. Okay. History of Benalia. I'm going to go ahead and Shivan Fire this thing. I want to use my mana. I want to play around Spell Pierce. And it doesn't get too much better as far as, you know, uses of that card. Go ahead and take the action here and get a swamp. And now we've got double black. That comes into play untapped next turn, which is a big deal. Banalish Marshal. Okay. So. Now we're at the point of the game where we have to decide, do we block this with District Guide? Don't think so. I think we can afford to take this hit. Another Phoenix is great as long as they don't have Conclave Tribunal. If they have Conclave Tribunal here, I think we're probably dead. Deputy of Detention, pretty similar. Maybe even a little better. So I think I'm just chump blocking here. And Vivian Reed doesn't really do anything for us, so let's play another Phoenix. They have 8 on the board. No, they have 7. However, we can block Deputy of Detention. If we get a chance to block here, that is. Okay. So we've got a chance to block. I mean, that's really, really good, but we can go District Guide. Go get another Swamp. Play a District Guide. Go get a Forest, sure. So we can go Chump Block, block Banalish Marshal. Now we're in even more trouble. I don't think... No, we can actually get out of this. No, we can't. No, I think we're dead. Just look. I can kill this Marshal, take too much damage. You block here, here, and here, and go to 1. The problem is... No, you know what? If we draw Finality, we're actually completely alive here. Okay, we didn't. So we're dead. Okay, so this time we're on the play. I kind of like playing some more expensive stuff. But, you know, I don't know. Like, we could try to go with CGN Commander or Vraska's Contempt. Vivian Reed really didn't do it for me that game. I think Angrath might just be a better card in this matchup. Or Vraska's Contempt. Just do this. Especially if they have Tithe Taker. That makes me want to play Angrath. Pretty good there. Play first. Don't think so. It's too bad. Alright, we'll try it. Need to hit some kind of removal spell here, and then I think we're in reasonable shape. That's gonna be fine for us, I think. Let's go with Stomping Ground first, Dragon Skull Summit next turn, and then we go Forest District Guide into Swamp for Chupacabra. It's a Hunted Witness right here. This is why we keep in Seeker Squire instead of Merfolk Branchwalker. I'm not saying no to Chupacabra. You can give me as many Chupacabras as you want. Hunted Witness. Big Snubble of a Dub. Forest, District Guide. I'm gonna go to Swamp. So Banalish Marshal would be annoying, but they know we have Chupacabra. So it's History Benalia instead. I'm not too unhappy about using a potential Chupacabra on this knight token. I'm not too proud to do that. I think we can do that. Kind of just want to play this Phoenix right now instead, though. This is worse against Conclave Tribunal. That's for sure. But that was kind of going to be the case no matter what we did here. Snubhorn Sentry is a creature now. That's interesting to note. Venerated Loxodon makes things problematic for us. Tithe Digger, sure. And another Tithe Digger, sure. You knights, you're soldiers. That's good for us. I wonder if the right play here is just to nuke that History of Benalia right now before it gets out of hand. And then start to do some blocking. Now that we drew this Brontodon, that's going to make it tougher for those knights to get through. Snubhorn Sentry and all that too, you know, so I think that's what I'm gonna try and get. Just gonna save us a boatload of damage. In the long term here. Not the long term, the short term. Sure. Okay, so we got an all-out attack here. So I think what I want to do is block Loxodon, and maybe double block a Knight token. That would have us taking quite a chunk of damage, though. Because alternatively, we can do this. Go, Arena. This. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They get their 1/1 tokens for it, though, which is kind of lame. So we don't do that. We do this instead, and they don't get any tokens. We save a little bit of... We take 1 extra damage. Get back our Phoenix. We can Chupacabra. I'm going to Chupacabra the Snubhorn Sentry. I think we're just dead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're just dead here. Well, that's unfortunate. Yep. Just gonna go through the motions. But they got us for Xaxes. Which, so, if we had blocked the 200 witnesses instead, we still would have been dead by Xaxes, I think. Because there would have been Knight tokens coming after us. An extra Knight token and a 2 extra 1/1 tokens. I don't know. Maybe I messed that up. I don't know. Anyway, we are 4-1, so we're trying to hit this last one. Hopefully we do it. Alright. One last match. Playing Jund. Opponent's name is Go Banana, which I think is a dope name. Very cool. Playing first. Gonna mulligan this No-Lander. And probably gonna mulligan this No-Lander as well. Isn't looking good for us. This is fine hand. Vivian to the bottom. What do we got from Go Banana? What do you think Go Banana plays? Godless Shrine? Not sure if this is going to be a Esper mid-range. We'll find out from this play right here. Nope, we won't find out. Hero of Precinct 1 means one thing, Search for Escanta means the other. Guess they're just going to leave up Mortify / Absorb. We got nothing going on, so they'll probably Mortify. Nope, no Mortify. That's good. Now that we have 2 Lava Coils in our hand, I would love to see my opponent play Seraph of the Scales, but I don't think they're going to. See if they absorb a Seeker Squire. Nope. Gonna bin that, because this clearly is Esper Control. No Chemister's Insight. That's right, sure. So if we had a land, no. But that's not the worst. It's really not. With these 2 cards, Seeker Squire again. Gonna put that in the graveyard. This has basically been a mulligan to 3 because we started on 5 cards and drew 2 Lava Coils, which are dead against this opponent. I want to play Branchwalker just because I really want to hit a land soon here. I think they're going to let this resolve. It's going to require Kaya's Wrath, and then hopefully they don't have Kaya's Wrath plus Absorb. It's going to be pretty unlikely now because of Chemister's Insight, but this isn't a ton of damage, but it's something, you know, they got to contend with it. Okay. Yeah, the Lava Coils and the Chupacabras are pretty much dead cards in this matchup. And so to have seen 2 Lava Coils on our mulligan to 5 is not the most fortunate. It's kind of a, you know, it's a it's definitely like something you got to be aware of when you play these cards. That, you know, game 1 against the most purest of control decks, that or against Turbo Fog, they're gonna be just really bad, and so there's gonna be some number of the games where you're just kind of cold because you drew them, which is not really what you want to have when you're deciding you're gonna put some certain cards in your hand, in your deck, but. I think we just cast this, actually. So the thing is that if they don't have a counterspell and we rip something really, really good, we're actually not in bad shape. I really wanted to hit something that turn because we could have made them not use cast Chemister's Insight. Now let's search for Escanta is flipped. Pretty close to ready to throw in the towel here. There's an Absorb. I think we can be done now. Alright. So that was a little disappointing, but our sideboard is great because it is cards that are not Chupacabras and Lava Coils. That's going to be the first problem here. I think Siege Gang Commander isn't great. Rakdos Firewheeler is probably not at its best either. Vassal's Golgari Queen I can kind of give or take, but Seeker Squire is pretty poor. Not too much pressure. I want to have a little bit, you know, I would love to play either Seeker Squire or Merfolk Branchwalker on turn 2, but they're pretty bad late. Yeah, so this is kind of what we're going to go with. think. Yeah. I like leaving in Bedevil. Because it stops their Thief of Sanity sideboard plan. Vraska's Contempt kind of doesn't. And Bedevil, you know, hits Teferi, obviously. But Vraska's Contempt, especially at least on the draw, isn't good enough to stop the Thief of Sanity plan. So I like to do this here. Sure, you can keep this. Yeah. Open hit lands, obviously. And we're gonna duress and see if they have Thief of Sanity, which they don't, but they have Lyra and Hostage Taker. Okay. So Hostage Taker is gonna be a problem. Let's just go ahead and take... You know what? I'm gonna take the Insight. Yep, I'm going to take Chemist's Insight. I think it's important that we don't let them draw cards. Gotta bin that because it's not a land, and then we gotta hope to draw a land. Didn't. It's not good. There's a land, but it's a little late and it can't cast Brontodon. Sure. I guess this probably isn't getting much better, so I may as well spend our mana on it right now. What's good is that... Okay, well, here's a Duress. Now we can take whatever we want. I don't want to take Kaya's Wrath. I don't want to take Mortify. I think the way that we end up winning this game, if we win, is by... Planeswalkers? Really wish I could take Basilica Bellhaunt. That seems like it's a really problematic card for us. Yeah, let's play the Seeker Squire. Bin that. Hope to draw a land. What's good is that if they untap and Hostage Taker the Seeker Squire... Okay. That's not too bad for us. If they Hostage Taker the Seeker Squire, that means we could have landed Rekindling Phoenix. They can't Bellhaunt. They can Chemist's Insight. Ugh. Okay, so... What did we learn about this match? Well, we learned that you should try to draw lands. Lands are pretty good most of the time. Alright, there's a land. I think it's Phoenix. And then I don't know what about this Lyra though. I don't exactly know what we're going to do against that thing. Angrath Tick Up and Vraska Tick Up does not look appealing to me. That's actually, you know, Vraska Tick Up. Okay. I can get behind this actually. So I'm going to tick up Vraska.
Your life, its pain is our gain.
Decline. Play Stomping Ground. Say go. And now we have an out against Lyra. Is we steal it with Angrath and then we sacrifice it with Vraska, Golgari Queen. Looks like they have a Vraska's Contempt instead for her, but if they're doing this, this makes me think that they could have a cast down here. I'm really not actually that upset about that if they have a cast down or a Mortify. It's not really the biggest of concerns. Let's see if they have Absorb. I want to do this anyway because I want them to not cast Chemist's Insight. Okay, alright. So let's steal Lyra.
Run. A chase stokes the forge.
Vraska's Contempt on my Vraska right now would be pretty good. Can I actually like afford to let them do that? I think I need to plus this like right now. I guess that they can actually just respond. No, they can't respond to this ability, so I get in for a bunch of damage if I attack there, but it's kind of aggressive. I think that might have been the wrong play. I think there's a good chance that that was the wrong play because they would have used a Vraska's Contempt in response to Angrath. Just like in response to maybe to Angrath's minus ability. To just go, okay, kill your Vraska. So I had to have assumed that it wasn't there, but I did not do that instead. Oh, we lose our Angrath, but we got a card and got some good value out of the deal. I wonder if they're going to Vraska's Contempt Vraska now that they played that Search for Escanta. No. Okay. So I definitely want to kill the Search for Escanta. Let's see if we can resolve... see if we can resolve a Thrashing Brontodon, I guess. Absorb, sure. So to me, that means I'm pretty free to destroy the Search for Escanta,
Haven't forgotten how to destroy things.
play a Seeker Squire. That's a graveyard, I think. And let's attack. Okay. So what would be the worst case scenario here? Probably Teferi plus Cast Down plus Land plus Kaya's Wrath or something. Maybe like Vraska's Contempt plus Teferi would be good. I'm glad that we got a Brontodon absorbed. If we were going to get something absorbed, then I'm fine with how that played out. Kaya's Wrath. Okay. Get the Phoenix. Teferi. Untap.
I know my responsibility.
No, minus. Okay.
Let's take it back.
Interesting. Really interesting play. I think we're gonna Phoenix. I think we're gonna +1 and sacrifice a land.
Sacrifices must be made.
Maybe not the greatest of plays, but I could have sacrificed the Phoenix as well. I thought it was a pretty good chance that they had, you know, some kind of removal spell for it. For the egg token. Mortify would have been bad for us. Now we got a decision to make over there, I guess. Fastest content on Phoenix, sure. Now, of course, I really wish I had, but it's alright. Oh, they have one card in hand. Is it a counterspell? I think either way, pretty interested in using Bedevil here. But I also am kind of interested in using Vivian Reed here, aren't I? Just hitting land drops would be pretty good for us. Let's go with Vivian. Is their last cards? Okay. Yep. That's okay. Negate was going to get hit anyway. I don't want to use Vraska here.
We need to move quickly.
I kind of got burned. Ooh, man. Kind of got burned for using the, for what? I don't know, I forget what I was going to say. Pretty unreal that we're still in this game. That makes me think they have a counterspell in hand still. Maybe another copy of Negate. Maybe another copy of Teferi. So let's play... Raptidon. And that, let's... I guess we emblem. If we emblem here, then let's set a stop in their upkeep. Let's emblem. They either this or their next card has to be a way to stop this Brontodon.
Again.
And let's hope it's nothing. Let's hope they got nothing for us. Okay, fair enough. That was a game I did not think we were winning. I thought we were pretty dead after that mana screw, but we ended up getting there. Yeah, again, Bedevil works against... They have quite a creature plan that they've got going on. So I think Vraska's Contempt can come back in. I don't really know about Cast Down, and I don't really know about Chupacabra. These look pretty dead later on. But the Fire Wheeler doesn't hit any of their creatures. They might bring in Thief. But they've got the Bell Haunt, which is pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and put... let's see, what are we going to take out then if we're doing this? It's all good stuff. That is the problem. It's honestly possible I'm supposed to be cutting a land here. But I am a little worried about that, seeing how we've been getting constantly mana screwed. But, yeah, I could actually see taking out a... Rootbound Crag as being the right play. A little scary. A little scary. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I don't know. We'll see. We still have a lot of action that gets us land here, you know. We explore creatures in the district guides. We still have all 5 basics. I'm gonna keep it. Don't like mulliganing in matchups where I don't like mulliganing in matchups where it's important that you have Ooh, this is actually a tough call. We've got an answer to Teferi. I think we take the search, though. Search seems to be the hardest thing for us to deal with. I don't like mulliganing in matchups where your opponent has discard spells. Thought Erasure. You know, if we go to 6, then Thought Erasure gets much better against us. So this doesn't seem like it's that good of a plan to just be like, hope the next cards are better. You know, like, you can already kind of depend on your hand being bad. So, or at least that any hand you have is gonna need help. Like, you're gonna need to draw kind of well, because you're about to, like, you know, you have a very good chance of losing whatever the best card in your hand was. So, you know, why even worry about it? So the Absorb is pretty good for them. I'm just gonna play Rootbound Crag, I guess. So at least if they ever, you know, play Teferi, we got an answer or two. And if they just go nothing, 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 nothing forever, we can just play Carnage Tyrant. Just go ahead and do this. Oh, this gets absorbed. Sure. That might have been wrong. That might have been the wrong play there. Precog main phase. Okay. Now I got a chance to resolve something here. Everything we play is probably just getting Teferi'd to the bottom, but we draw something. Okay. Guess we're doing it. Bin that one. No creatures in there. Precog again, wow. I mean, it's good. One top, two bottom. Okay. Alright, well, they don't know about Carnage Tyrant, so that's a big deal. We can also beat Devil in response to a... Oh, they played the wrong one. That's funny. So we can be Devil now.
Let's slow this down.
Get it eaten by a counterspell, and then be Devil again. Hopefully they don't have Negate.
Let's skip to the good part.
Alternatively, we can play a Rekindling Phoenix. Probably a better plan.
Stop that. Now.
I like this better against Kaya's Wrath.
Hurry.
It's obviously not as good against, like, Vraska's Contempt or Hostage Taker like they had or something, but here's Lyra with probably with Counterspell backup. Okay. Yep. This one kind of got away from us, I think. Well, you have Negate. Okay, back in it.
How this no one said restoration was painless.
A little tough way to do it against Teferi, but the thing is that if we get this, if we use a Bedevil on this Teferi, they got another one anyway, and just saying, Teferi, 3 mana Planeswalker, just outrageous. So. Okay. I'm ready to cast Carnage Tyrant then, if that's the case. Fully expecting Kaya's Wrath, obviously, but plays around counter spells pretty well. I was worried that they would have. Okay, no counter spell. That's good for us. Do they have Settle the Wreckage? Don't.
According to plan.
I think that it would be a good idea to save our mana. Can't really do anything back, go to Direfleet Daredevil. And if we cast Direfleet Daredevil, we can't cast Rekindling Phoenix. So I think we just say go here. Expecting a couple of Chemister's Insights to get fired off. Nothing. Oh, that's good for us.
I can no longer stand by and watch.
Yep. Devil here. Hope it works. It worked. I like that.
Move quickly.
I guess the other play we could have made there, and I didn't even think of, is just to say, you know, like, you know, I'm hoping that they don't have a counterspell there for us. Clearly, right? But like, the reason that I do it in response to the ability is in case they draw a counterspell. But there's also a chance that they could draw, like, another Teferi, and then by casting it there, they get to just cast another Teferi. Whereas if I wait until their end step, then that's not going to happen. You know, I'm trying to think of, like, the things. It doesn't seem like they've got, like, anything going on in their hand right now. So it's like, what do they have? Erasure. This is going to be Negate, maybe? Teferi, Mortify, Mortify. Oh, I'll take Teferi. Don't want Stomping Grounds. We have just a Seeker Squire in our graveyard right now for creatures. So Find Finality is not good. This would be another just completely unreal game to win. Not getting my hopes up yet, though. But we've got Kaya's Wrath pretty deep. Chemister's Insight is a really good one for them. Because I was kind of hoping to hang on to that Direfleet Daredevil until they had put a Chemister's Insight into their graveyard. Seems like it will not be the case any longer. So still nothing out of them. No Kaya's Wrath. I'm sure they would have just cast Kaya's Wrath there if they had it. So in that case, I feel pretty safe playing District Guide and getting a Mountain. And playing Phoenix. So this, on the surface, it looks like we're playing right into a Wrath because they can just go, you know, they'll Chemister's Insight, and then they'll Kaya's Wrath, and then they'll Mortify the Egg Token. But I think it's okay because of Find Finality. Maybe this was wrong. Well, maybe this was wrong. Basilica Bellhaunt's pretty good for them. We gotta lose our Grassless Contempt, which is annoying. Because I don't want to lose this Find Finality. Lyra. Okay. Interesting. Let's just see what they do here. Yep. Okay. So let's try Golgari Queen. See if this resolves. It'd be great if it did. I'm gonna tick up.
Time to step
I'm gonna
out of the shadows.
actually sacrifice Direfleet
Don't
Daredevil.
dwell on what's about to happen.
Then we're gonna cast Fine Finality on Carnage Tyrant and Direfleet Daredevil. That was some really good patience on their end. Really good. Opponent's at 18 now. I wonder what that last card is. They're gonna mortify the Phoenix and then mortify it again. Sure. Don't really feel like blocking.
I don't die that easily.
Yeah. Branch Walker. Maybe this will draw out a counter spell. Guess not. That's probably good. Vivian Reed. Okay, that resolves. So
Let's tear
that
this
makes me
place
want to go sacrifice probably this. Probably the forest. We get to draw this card, and then we get to tick up.
You can't stop nature.
Put a Phoenix in her hand, and I don't think we attack here. I think we say go. We got a lot of Planeswalkers, we got a lot of stuff going on. They can't really attack with their Bell Haunt, and they just concede. They just concede. That game was far from over, if you ask me, but... Okay, we got there. Let's see, let's claim our prize, which is... That's not the prize we're looking for. We're looking for this prize. Booyah! What did we get? 2 rares. Guild Summit. Sure. Good one. Expansion Explosion. Another good card. Quasi-Duplicate. Interesting one. And we got a little bit extra gold. Okay, so cool. Ended up going 5-1. That control matchup was really tough. I feel like we drew poorly all 3 games, and somehow we ended up squeaking it out. I also think that white aggro matchup was just a bunch of really good creatures. It's always going to be tough. You can lose that matchup. I feel like it's a good matchup for us. It's just, you know, very linear aggro. We've got good top end. I feel like it's a good matchup for us. I don't know what the hell is going on with a green-black deck. And we also kind of got a freebie there in round 1, and then that Sultai deck, which we had some really good games against. Yeah, pretty good league. Or event. Let me get just, I'm going to cut here, and then we're going to go just check out the deck one more time. Alright, so this is the deck. Just one last look at it here. It's not really that much of a better option in Arena to look at a deck list, but yep, we've got kind of the whole thing right here. One of Rakdos Firewheeler, one of Vraska Golgari Queen. They're both really good. The thing is that, like, you could you could make a case for any 4-drops. There's Vraska's Contempt, there's Ravenous Chupacabra, there's, this Rakdos Firewheeler is pretty good, but there's also stuff like Golgari Findbroker, there's even Sunder Shaman would be good, all of the, the color 4-drop uncommons. They're all fine. Vraska Golgari Queen is pretty good. You could make a case for any of them, and it's just kind of trying to maximize your, how much, like what do you need in the metagame at a certain point? Because I think Vraska Golgari Queen is very good. And just like, what effects are you looking for? We have Bedevil, which is great. It's like the perfect, the Vraska's Contempt for somebody who doesn't want to spend as much mana on their removal spell, but still wants to be versatile. So Bedevil is great. Rekindling Phoenix is still awesome. I don't really ever take that card out. It's kind of the whole point of the whole deck, is how good Rekindling Phoenix is. And Siege Gang Commander is just like our late game power play. I've tried Biogenic Ooze, and I thought that it was good, but not as good as Siege Gang Commander. And I've played with also... there's also the Skargan Hellkite, but it strikes me as being really bad against Vraska, and also just like, if you're up against Hydroid Crassus and you have the Hellkite and they have the Crassus, then you're just like way behind, whereas this can like do more stuff in the long game. So yep. That's where that's at. I really like this list and where it's at. Pretty solid. Little bit of, the Graveyard Synergy, Find Finality, Explore Creature stuff going on, but mostly just really good things to do at every mana cost. And tune to try and beat this specific metagame of Control and Sultai, and hopefully, you got some hate in the sideboard for the aggro decks and the Turbo Fog decks. So that's where we're at right now. Not sure, I think possibly Carnage Tyrant's going to get the axe here. I think I might actually go back down to 0 of these and play something different. But it was pretty good there in that last round. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today. If you like the video, give me a like, give me a follow. Check me out on Twitch, twitch.com/GriffinLucier. I got my blog. It's jundlife.blogspot.com. I'll put a link for that in the description. And yeah, stay tuned for more.